Paul's storm experience teaches that Christians can learn to respond calmly to crises, trusting God in every adverse situation. Arrested after preaching the gospel in Jerusalem, Paul exercised his right as a Roman citizen and requested a trial before Caesar. Within days of traveling there, the stormy weather made the trip dangerous. Paul warned Julius, the centurion guarding the prisoners, that I can see that our voyage is going to be disastrous and bring great loss to ship and cargo and to our own lives also. Julius ignored the warning, and the ship continued until it encountered a hurricane-like storm. And that brings us to our key verse for today, which reads, "The others held on to planks or debris from the broken ship, so everyone escaped safely to shore." Acts chapter 27, verse 44. Here we can see why Paul was such an effective witness for God's revelation in Jesus Christ. The sailors had just tried to desert the ship and leave its passengers to fend for themselves. Nobody had eaten for 14 days. When things reached their worst, God's love for others was evident, and Paul's concern for those on board. The selfless action of this small-framed, accused heretic gave his witness with a trustworthy integrity on his way to trial before Caesar and possible execution. He besought or urged his fellow passengers to eat because it is essential for their survival. For 2 weeks, other seafarers observed Paul confront their shared life and death struggle with the storm. The steadfast certainty of Paul's faith comforts them. While the storm rocked the ship, Paul takes bread and holds it while thanking God before eating it. His example renews the courage of his onlooking shipmates who follow his example by eating. When everyone's hunger was satisfied, they lightened the ship to make it float higher in the water by throwing overboard the ship's cargo of wheat, which was doubtlessly intended for sale in Rome. They accepted Paul's prophecy that God's will was for them all to survive the ship's destruction. As Paul had done, the soldiers helping Julius guard the prisoners foresee the coming destruction of the ship. The soldiers plan to kill off the prisoners rather than risk that any might swim to shore and escape when the ship breaks up. The Roman penalty for allowing prisoners to escape was that their guards would receive whatever sentence the prisoners were due. But Julius intervenes on Paul's behalf and countermands the soldiers' plan. His desire to save Paul illustrates the respect he had for the apostle. Instead, he instructs that those who could swim to jump in immediately and swim to shore. He told those who could not swim to grab onto floating planks or other pieces of the ship and hold them while paddling to the shore. Thus, the reality of the angel's appearance to Paul and his prophecy that all 276 passengers would survive the ship's destruction were confirmed. Few Christians will ever share a spiritual experience as extraordinary as Paul did, but the power of Paul's witness lay not in his private supernatural experiences. Instead, other passengers, like the centurion, observed that Paul faced deadly peril and treated others kindly during the dangerous encounter. This observation gave witness to the credibility and authenticity of his faith. Likewise, Christians today can add power to their witness of trusting God by treating those who do not know God with love, dignity, and kindness in every situation. And so here's our lesson. Paul was able to provide an encouraging word to the others in the storm. Let's ask God to teach us how to encourage others through the storm, through emails, letters, or cards that provide hope and peace. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing to iLights. Heavenly Father, fill our hearts with what we truly desire, for who we truly seek is you.